Gemini, this is a love and relationship reading for you. That applies at the time that you see it. Holding on, you must release old ties in order to have a fresh start with someone new. Not compatible. You don't really believe there's a match for you. Have an open mind. That's where we start. So this may be a singles reading about relationships, but we'll see. You're coming out as the 7 of Swords, and then we've got 9 of Swords and 10 of Cups here for a person involved with you. Ace of Wands, it could be a new person. Can't quite tell. I do think this is like a ex or a new, fuck, what is this? It's like fear and worry and anxiety, but also idealization and dreaming and like, the Gemini duality. And then we have the 7 of Swords, and in this one, you have the stag upright, and then like the doe or the child, self in the reflection. Like the vulnerability. Okay, let's keep going. What's the issue here? Figure out what this reading's about, because God knows at this point. Okay, 2 of Pentacles, the duality. Trying to juggle things because we have Chariot reverse, Queen of Pentacles reverse, and the 2 of Wands. So the idea that there's some need to have a sense of control and restraint over passionate energies and going with the flow and feeling like things are sort of aligning and wanting to just do it, or being attracted, to put it simply. But then also the vulnerability with like dependency and getting entangled financially or monetarily or materially. So like, let's move in together, let's combine finances, or who's going to pay for what. And then the Chariot, everything's out of control. There's not enough restraint. Empress, Lovers reversed. It's showing up as like wanting someone who is very giving and compassionate and nurturing and is protective and peaceful, very loving. But then the reality is a lot more complicated than that. And you're feeling like a sense of entrapment and fear around a real person, because when you do get involved, things move quickly and feel outside of your control. And next thing you know, you're vulnerable to their attack, I want to say. There's an issue here around like learning to go beyond the superficial. King of Wands reversed right behind it. Some of the people that you've been attracted to in the past have been abusive in some way, shape, or form. And it's because they show up as someone who is trustworthy and confident, and they speak with authority, and they seem to have a lot of good things going on, but they're a charlatan. Like, sorry, they're a charlatan. And at the end of the day, are you showing up authentically, or are you putting on a mask? Are you, trying to show some kind of like, oh, I don't care about anything, I don't have any worries or fears, I'm lighthearted, or I have my own sources of money, but really you're hoping that they'll financially support you. Or I don't know. There's something more here about masks and facades. And what the 7 of Swords is, you're showing up as a 7 of Swords. Like, you can't tell me that you haven't been playing your own games on some level due to feelings of insecurity and wanting to better control the situation, because you feel like when you get attracted to someone, you start getting caught up, catching feelings, or having a sexual relationship or anything like that, you feel like you start to lose control. King of Pentacles. I think you want to portray yourself as someone that has your own sources of wealth and that you're responsible, you're grounded, you're strong. You take action and initiative. There's a specialness here as well. Something about it spirals out for you. Yeah, 9 of Cups. It's just, where's the emotional reserves? That's what needs to be addressed here for relationships. Where are your own self-love and emotional reserves? Because you're going to keep attracting people who are charlatans until you're ready to come forward authentically. So what do you want in a relationship? What have you wanted in the past that's led up to this point, Gemini? So that we can properly acknowledge, like, what the hell is going on here? King of Wands. There they are, right? Why were you attracted to a King of Wands reverse, a charlatan, like someone that is a faker? 9 of Wands reverse. You didn't have proper defenses and boundaries. Why is that? Full reversed. Taking major risks because you just want to feel something. It's hard for you to make decisions that have a equal give and take, that are special and rare and unique. I think you're the decision that needed to be made is to wait for the special and unique person that truly was a good match of, like, where y'all could balance and harmonize with each other, because you know who you truly are. And so I think on some level you would know who would be a good match for you as well. But in this scenario, you have people showing up that recognize that you have poor boundaries, and therefore they're going to take advantage of that because they have narcissistic tendencies and they're looking for people with weakness to exploit. Why are they looking to exploit people with weaknesses? Because they, first of all, feel kinship because they also have weaknesses, but they also have very powerful tools and tactics to hide that at all costs. They like to assume places of authority where they haven't earned it. They like to portray themselves as their own concept of someone who is confident, wise, intelligent, creative, and passionate, special. Yeah. Because I see other people that are genuinely like this, and they're just doing like a facsimile emulation of it. And because you didn't have proper boundaries, you didn't clock it, you didn't call it out, you didn't walk away from it, you just said, they're kind of, there's a few little red flags here and there with this person, but full reverse, I'm gonna just take a major risk. I'll just take a major risk and just say, hey, maybe this is the one, maybe this is the one. Because the real thing would be to say, hey, I'm not going to make a decision on you yet until I see like verifiable proof that you are the one, that you have that thing that is going to connect me with my other half, or someone that is truly good for me. You weren't willing to do that. You fell prey to their fucking love bombing, man. All right. What did they want from you? Why did they target you? Damn, dude. Gemini, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I mean, Gemini, the twins, it's the reflection. So much of your learning through life comes through people. I think it's also important to recognize that some of the things in your life you may have a little bit easier than others to help quiet a lot of your insecurities or sadness around. They saw your mask, first of all. If you have insecurities and sadness around many failed relationships, or relationships not seeming to be as easy or as flowing or as long-term, that you're not able to find this right person, that you're kind of struggling more than what you feel like other people are, just recognize that this is your biggest challenge as a Gemini, is to reflect and grow through your reflection in other people, and that others have other challenges that you don't have. So we all have our cards that are dealt to us, and this is where you're at. All right. So here's why They saw you were single. 2 of Cups. Maybe you had your heart broken. 8 of Wands. You were quiet, you non-communicative, or kind of slow to pick up on something, or slow mover, slow actor. Yeah, you just had more of like I want to say resistant energy, resistant to communicate, resistant to move forward. Page of Swords reversed. I think they saw some level of negative self-talk in you. And Temperance reversed. They wanted to upset. They wanted to upset you, what seemed like a very stern or solid or like serious mask. To them, they saw someone that was insecure on a lot of levels, like hard on yourself, didn't want to speak up, kind of withdrawn. And they found that to be available to be exploited and transition from something stable to something chaotic. Why though? That's so fucked up. Why? World reversed. They wanted to isolate you and pull you away from other people. Why? I just whenever I read or hear things about like narcissists and stuff, Ace of Wands. So that they would have all the power. Sex, it was involved as well. Sexual power of some sort. The Star, they could be your source of healing, hope, and guiding light. They wanted to be your only star and guiding light. 4 Swords. It was a protective measure because of their own heartbreak, that they know something within them is damaged and hurt. And if you are separate from others, you are less likely to acknowledge and notice that there's something damaged in them as well. Like I was saying, when I see stuff about like narcissists, I've always been like, are they consciously thinking about isolating you? And like, why would they know that that's like a thing to do? And it's just crazy, seeing it in a reading, like this is how they operate. And like, it's just hard to get into that headspace. And maybe that's something that you can relate to, is like, you would never do that to another person. So you don't expect that when it comes your way. I still feel like it's a relative rarity, but it's definitely was here to teach you something, and we about to find out what. Okay, so what were your fears that led up to your vulnerability here to this person? Yeah. What fears did you have that created this situation? 7 of Cups. Came out kind of sideways, Queen of Swords. Having an uncertainty about your own personal truth and your own sense of self. Empress is at the base of the deck. At the end of the day, this is you, Empress. Someone's open, receptive, kind, compassionate, loving, has a North Star, which means you have a sense of self. You know who you are, no matter who's around. You have that. It is in you, but you doubt it. Why? Because there are possibilities. Entertaining possibilities of like, well, maybe I'm like this, or maybe I do that, or this person over here is like this, maybe I'm like them. And again, so this is a Gemini issue, right? And that's what you're here to explore and transform. And that's why the situation happened, is to help you understand what you're not. Yeah. Damn. All right, reading over. This is to help you understand what you're not. You are not a manipulator. You are not an isolator. You're a compassionate Empress. You're a person who if you are given something, a seed, you plant it and help it grow. If someone comes towards you and they say, I need your support, Empress, you gladly give it as long as it does not harm you. Ultimately, the Empress is fertile grounds. People can come to you and feel safe with their feelings and their emotions and their thoughts and ideas. And if you're a good secret keeper and and a good gardener, man, you take care of and nourish things. Plants, animals, pets, people, children, ideas. And you deserve others to protect you. You deserve to have protection. You do innately by source, but also those who love you desire to protect you. They look to your wisdom and your mothering instinct. You're just a safe place, and life should be easy for you. Nicely easier than it is now. But I think that fear of not knowing who you are, the fear of that you may have been incorrect about who you are, is what made you vulnerable to this situation, because then you were placing a mask upon yourself to portray yourself as someone that you weren't. King of Pentacles is nothing like an Empress to me. Someone who's a lot more like, I've got all my shit together and I did it all myself. I'm wealthy. I have control. I'm very restrained and very serious. Eight of Swords. It's an ongoing entrapment. And it comes from a place of desiring to protect your feelings and emotions, which is understandable. But that's why you wanted to show up that way, because you felt vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable. And it was self-destructive. But anyway. Okay. 1717. So let's get on with the fucking reading. So what were they afraid of? What was hurting in their little heart that caused them to take on the qualities of a narcissist? And how does that relate to Gemini in this reading? Just people for Gemini. King of Swords reverse, King of Cups reverse. So 8 of Cups. So they have daddy issues, period. 7 of Pentacles. They are wondering if they have delusions of grandeur. So they feel like they deserve more. They should be more. They aren't satisfied with what they have and what gifts they've been given. They're afraid of moving towards a higher place because they are comfortable with wallowing in the shit. That shit being jealousy and coldness, of holding people at arm's length and being very negative and very critical towards them, of being aloof and emotionally manipulative and using emotions as weapons. And that is what is normal and comfortable to them. That it's just like blood and death and darkness and despair. And when they see a beautiful dove or dolphin here, someone who's offering peace or joy or happiness and purity, they want to take that down with them to the underworld. It's like Hades and Persephone. It's like they want to take it with them to their dark place rather than rising to be like them. Why is that? Because they acknowledge how good that peace and purity and fun is and how good it feels. Yet they are so self-identified with the negative self-talk, the negative self-reflection of what others have spoken into them through trauma and abuse, that they don't ever believe that they could walk away from their identity as a piece of shit. Okay? They don't feel like they could walk away from that identity. So instead they want to take your goodness and just indulge in it and own it and have it for a while to replenish them, because everybody needs love. Everybody needs love. And they acknowledge that on some level. But they also are just sitting here like, I deserve more. I deserve a beautiful, special Gemini to come in and shower me with love and never look at how toxic and what a piece of shit I am, because I am not willing to change it no matter what. Like, that's it, line in the sand. So if Gemini tries to come here and change me, well, fuck that. And as soon as they stop showering me with love and affection, I'll discard them because they're no longer serving their purpose. All right. So moving beyond the support questions, because this is clearly not that, we want to ask questions about, why are you still holding on to this person? At the end of the day, why are you still attached to them? Is it because of a lack of understanding? Judgment reversed. That's the lack of understanding card. Thank you. So here it is. Okay. Let the lightning bolt come forth. Clarity. You are the Empress. You deserve better. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. This is fucking fantastic. That's so good. That is so dead on. That energy is very, very, very strong. Very strong. It takes quite a bit for me to feel something, even when I'm doing readings. I'm pretty solid. That's strong as fuck. Okay. You have nothing to fear from holding yourself to a higher standard. You don't have to just accept whatever's offered to you. You can trust that good things are forthcoming. You have a level of mastery here, I'm seeing, with the ibis. I don't know if that's an ibis, but like a crane. To me, a crane is still confident, powerful, but like unbothered and self-contained, just self-contained. You didn't know you were an empress, that's why. I mean, it's as simple as that. There's always new love coming in, being brought towards you. New positive emotional messaging being brought towards you. Justice reversed with the 9 of Cups right behind it. You don't need to expect negative karma or embarrassment because of what you went through with this person. You weren't compatible because you're two wholly different people. I'm even looking at this card of like, she's over here in more lit energy. The room is more colorful, and then he's over here in this darkness. I don't know. It just, to me, seems more like the Persephone and Hades thing, right? Like, gender doesn't matter here, but it's like you had so much light and innocence and purity, and they just wanted to put that in a jar and put it on the shelf so that they could look at it and fondle it, I want to say. Yeah. It's weird. It's just hard to get into their headspace, which is why you didn't see it coming. If you can step away and be like, okay, that is what it is. I'm still good and golden. Now it becomes kind of interesting, like, oh man, what a weirdo, right? But at the end of the day, you need that lightning bolt of clarity and judgment and Archangel Michael to come in and be like, listen, Gemini, here's the truth. You're Empress energy. You're a manifester of good-natured, good-willed things. Positivity. You're just overflowing with pure positive energy. And there's a lot of shitty people that want to put that in a glass jar and put it on their shelf. What do you need to know for your own protection and best interest going forward? 7 of Wands reversed. Don't put people on a pedestal. 8 of Pentacles, just because they're new and they seem like they have all their shit together. Devil reversed. Death. I think you've learned something valuable here with the Princess of Pentacles. To look beyond the surface. Even though someone may have some level of self-respect, or I almost feeling like this is you, like you have everything that you need. It's not good to put people on a pedestal and say that they have something that you need that you don't have within yourself, because here with the magician, you have it all. You're smart enough, you're compassionate enough, you work hard enough. You don't have to work harder, okay? You tend to logic and reality. Like, you're good. Breaking the chain of the devil means coming to a clear and more objective place about who you are. And that's what you've done through this process. I keep seeing the bear here. Just a survivor, a problem solver, gets ready for the opportunities and takes them when they arrive, like works well within the confines of time. This helped bring you to a higher place. This relationship, whatever this was, brought you to a higher place of self-understanding and self-knowledge, self-acknowledgement, self-recognition. 25, what? Yeah. All right. So what is in your best interest to release? Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. Even more. 5 of Pentacles reversed, 3 of Pentacles reversed, Hermit reversed. There's this idea that there's some kind of special knowledge or wisdom that's being hidden from you and that you don't have access to it, because that's not the case. Like, there's more that you need to find out about this person or this relationship or about how you acted in it. Like, the truth is that you already know the sun. You already know everything that you need to know. 4 of Wands reversed. Like, you know, wherever you live, whatever you built with them, whatever accomplishment you made is just a fragment of the totality of what's waiting for you out there, what's possible, what can bring you joy. And know that the joy that was in that situation for you was what you brought to the table, and it was always within you. This is the real tea here. You know, there's nothing more for you to learn from this relationship. Okay, it's all here on the table. Rewatch this if you need it. But like 6 of Swords reverse, quit going into things that re-traumatize or feel shitty because you're afraid that you didn't learn everything that you need to know. It's living in a place of extremes. You don't need to be humbled. You know, you don't need to feel embarrassment. You don't need to be scared of embarrassment. This is taking away from your stability and foundation and your ability to grow. Like, it's a thing that happened. And it showed you what you're not. And it showed you how important it is to come correct with your honest self and call the shots when it comes to those red flags and anything that feels like, okay, I sense blackness, I sense redness. Like, you know, to me, that's like blackness. They're got a darker, the opposite of purity, the opposite of love, hatred and fear. They have hatred and fear motivations and desires. Their desires are based around sex and power. You know, any of those types of like warning signs is like a, okay, you're not the one. You're not my white buffalo. Get the fuck out of here. You know, be willing to make that call. Because now you know what it can bring you. If you fake it and try to play around and say, oh, maybe they're not so bad, whatever, you end up with a fucking full-blown motherfucking narcissist. All right. Give us an Alchemy of the Spirit deck card. The bow. I did agree to pull these reverse, but I'll read it in both ways. This is card number 54. Feeling tense, missing the goal, feeling unprepared, feeling negative, experiencing cowardice, feeling nervous. Yeah. You're scared of putting yourself out there again just to meet up with another person that's going to hurt your heart. So you continually go back to the relationship to try to bleed out every single bit of information and knowledge you can about why it happened and how you can avoid it again. While honoring your past, you are ready to transcend into a higher consciousness rooted in love. You no longer need to hide or run as if you were the prey. Are you hearing this shit? You now hold the bow and arrow in your hands, which means you have the tools you need, magician, to step in to a new chapter of your life. You are ready and you are safe. Release the tension in your body. Unclench your jaw. Lower your shoulders and soften your forehead. Stand in the pose of an archer. Close your eyes and imagine all your dreams and wishes held at the point of a burning arrow. Hold your breath for a second. Set your intention wholeheartedly, and then release the arrow into the universe. You are sending a prayer into the stars with an open and humble heart. You need to trust that the universe is kind and loving and that it will be heard. Like, I totally get, where you're coming from with all this. I do. But holding on to it is the opposite of where your true goals are. There is nothing more for you to learn from this relationship other than the reality that, you have to be discerning. You have a big lot of love and light and beauty and joy to offer people. And if you don't say no to the ones who aren't equal and deserving, like Empress is just on a high level. I think when I pull the Empress card, it's hard for people to understand and feel worthy of being that energy. The Empress just gets things handed to them. Life is easier for an Empress. You're going to pull, if you were a reader and you pulled cards for someone and they got the Empress, it would be someone that has been very lucky in their life, that has a lot of goodwill and good fortune. People like them. Things come easily. They have money. And they have people who bring them things and serve them and come to them for advice and come to them for their support and wisdom as well. And the reasons why that is like, this reading's already been going on for a while and this is kind of for another time. But ultimately, it's deserved and it is what it is. And it needs to be protected. You have to value yourself enough to do so and say, hey, I'm not going to put up with no riffraff bullshit. I need someone that respects my Empress quality and is going to show up as an emperor, man or woman. All right, your angels, ascended masters, and loved ones and guides have a message for you today, Gemini. What is it? Bet on yourself. Take chances. Reach your dreams. You've got this. Bet on yourself. I mean, an Empress is always going to find new opportunities. They're resourceful. They've got it all, okay? It's fantastic. It's really, really good. Don't compare yourself to other people is what I want to say. Don't ever do that because very few are called and placed to be an Empress. Thank you for watching. If you like that, please watch my other readings. I have rising sign readings available on my channel right now. And like and subscribe. Take good care of yourself. And I'll see you next time. Bye.